Hey everyone, welcome back to Range of Reality, where we strip away the fluff and teach you how to live prepared, not paranoid. I'm Jody Salerno, and today we're talking about what it really means to become a hard target. Before I begin this episode, I'd like to tell you about my sponsor. It's my sponsors that allow me to do this podcast, so please support them. If you ever have to defend yourself, the fight doesn't end when the threat is gone. Legal trouble, court cost, lost wages, it all adds up fast. And that's where the United States Concealed Carry Association comes in. They provide award-winning self-defense training and education, but more than that, they've secured liability insurance for their members that helps cover bail, legal fees, and other critical costs after an incident. So if you care about protecting what matters, visit usconcealedcarry.com and see why peace of mind is part of being prepared. So let me make something clear. You don't just want to survive an attack. You want to make sure that it never happens in the first place. Criminals aren't looking for a fair fight. They want an easy win. And if you look like someone who isn't paying attention, who won't fight back, or who can be easily controlled, they'll choose you. But not today, not after this episode. So the real question becomes, what do they see when they look at you? Let's make sure the answer is not her, not today. The threat is already watching you. If someone is planning to harm you, they're already watching, already choosing, already calculating risk. Your job is to interrupt that selection process. That's what being a hard target really means. You break the fantasy before it becomes a plan. Most people assume attacks are sudden. They're not. That's what being a hard target really means. Most violence, whether robbery, assault, or abduction, is preceded by observation. You are being watched long before anything physical happens. So ask yourself, what does a threat see when they look at you? They're not wondering, is she nice? Is she tough? They're calculating, will she freeze? Will she fight? Or can I get in and out clean? Your job is to make them ask, is this worth it? And your presence should answer that with one word, no. It's called becoming a hard target. Let's make you unappealing, uncooperative, unpredictable, and unbreakable. Let's make you a hard target. So what is a soft target? Soft target is someone who's distracted, unaware, uncertain, and vulnerable, mentally, emotionally, and physically. Someone glued to their phone walking across a parking lot. Someone who avoids eye contact. Someone who looks like they wouldn't put up a fight. According to a 2023 Gallup poll, 40% of Americans are afraid to walk alone at night. That's the highest it's been in over 30 years. Now let's compare that to a hard target. Someone who moves with purpose, someone who walks with their head up, eyes scanning, and confident. Someone who doesn't just carry self-defense tools, they know how to use them. Campus Safety Magazine put it perfectly. Situational awareness is the #1 deterrent to street crimes. If you even remotely look like you'd be a problem, they'll move on. Here's the truth. Predators are lazy. They're looking for the path of least resistance. Your job is to look like resistance. So let's build that warrior mindset. Because gear can help, but mindset is everything. Predators are opportunists. They're not stalking the toughest, fastest, most aware person in the room. They're watching for people who are distracted, preoccupied, and timid. You need to look dangerous to people who are dangerous. Not in a confrontational way, but in a confident, alert, in-command way. In a moment of decision, the best thing that you can do is the right thing. The worst thing that you can do is nothing. A predator seeing you scan your surroundings, noticing exits, and making eye contact sends a message. I'm paying attention. You'll have to work for this. They don't want that. So what does this mindset look like? Practicing awareness daily at the grocery store, at a gas station, or walking to work. Running what-if drills in your head. What if someone tries to corner me here? What would I do? Believing you're worth protecting and prepared to act on that belief. Even just walking with intention can change how you're perceived because most people don't. If someone was planning something, you just made them question everything. Most low-effort criminals are not prepared for resistance. They're not prepared for someone who doesn't match the role that they had in mind. Criminals follow patterns. They use tests called compliance probes to see how you'll react. So let me walk you through what that looks like. You're walking to a car. Someone approaches you. A man. Friendly voice. He's casual. Maybe gives you a compliment. Maybe a harmless smile. Seems innocent, right? So your mind thinks, he probably just wants directions. He doesn't look threatening. I don't want to be rude. Stop right there. Predators test the waters before they strike. What's happening isn't polite, it's a test. Predators don't start with aggression. They start with what I call compliance probes. They want to know, will you let them get close? Will you override your own discomfort? Will you give them a yes when you really meant no? Someone who gets too close is closing the distance. Someone that says, hey, need a hand with that? That's unwanted help. They apply social pressure. I just need a second. I'm not going to hurt you. Or they deny your boundaries. You say no, but they keep talking or stepping forward towards you. If you hesitate, smile nervously, or shrink back, they know you're worried about being rude, and they'll use that against you. The moment someone crosses a line uninvited, the only question is, will you reinforce your boundary or abandon it to be polite? Hard targets do not prioritize politeness over personal safety. You don't need to escalate, you need to exit. Here's your rule. If someone crosses a boundary uninvited, it's not your job to figure them out. It's your job to get out, fast, firm, and without apologizing. You don't need to justify your reaction. You don't need to decode their intent. So take a second right now, look around. Who's nearby? Where are your exits? Where's your vehicle? That's your safety net. That's your map out. Make scanning a habit. Most attackers have a script in their head. They imagine you'll be flattered, you'll be surprised, stunned, or you're too polite to react. You don't notice them. You might cooperate out of shock or confusion. Don't make a scene, and they want you to comply. So here's what you do. You interrupt that fantasy immediately. And how? With 3 layers: verbal, directional, and presence. Verbal disruptions would be, stop right there, back up. I don't need help. Say it early, say it firm, don't ask, command. Directional disengagement, those are when you create angles between you and the person. You move towards other people or towards light. You avoid backing yourself into corners or dead ends. And your presence shift. Square your body, plant your feet, keep one hand available and visible. That 3-second energy shift, that's what makes them walk away. They're not ready for resistance. They're not ready for problems. They're ready for you to freeze, and you just broke their script. Predators read your behavior before you even speak. They're trained through instinct or experience to spot weakness in the wild. Predators pick up on nonverbal tells, small signals that scream, easy target. So let's break those down and give you a real solution. Your body speaks before you do, and predators are fluent in body language. How you carry yourself says a lot about you. And here's what they read. Your slow head turns make you look disoriented or distracted. Your hunched posture reads as passive and uncertain. If you have a tense jaw or downcast eyes, that signals fear or submission. An uncertain gait. If your steps are hesitant or short, that says I'm unsure. You can't react if you have too much to carry. So overloaded arms or bags give you slow reaction time. And having your face in your phone, you're totally unaware of your surroundings. So here's what you need to train into your walk. Deliberate posture. You want your spine tall, your shoulders relaxed. Eye contact. Scan, assess, move on. You want to keep a neutral but calm face. No panic, soft jaw. Keep your hands free. Be ready for defense or barriers. And decisive movement. No wandering. Walk with a purpose. Know where you're going. You're not trying to scare anyone. You're projecting certainty. And that alone will take you off the threat radar for most low-effort predators. Train your neutral state to say, I'm alert, I'm calm, and I'm prepared. You don't need to be intimidating. You just need to be unpredictable. Here's something that most people don't understand. Violence isn't random. It's a process, a setup. Something as unknowing as where you stand can save your life. This is called environmental awareness, and it's your invisible armor. Your physical position in space is a form of self-defense. In a parking garage, avoid walking directly between rows of vehicles. That's where people are grabbed and pulled between cars. Angle towards the exits and towards light. Listen, look, breathe. Move with purpose. This is simple stuff that makes a massive difference. At a gas station, stand where you could see 180 degrees around you. Never between two parked cars. Watch for shadows and watch the reflections. Stand between the pump and your vehicle. Lock the passenger side as soon as you exit. Scan the angles of the mirrors. Keep your phone out of sight. If you're in a restaurant, sit with your back towards a wall facing the door. Know where the exits are. Scan the room when you get there just for a few seconds. Walking to your car at night, you want your keys in your hand before you exit the building. You want to keep one hand free. And again, walk with purpose. Eyes up, steady pace. Don't park between vans or tall trucks that block your visibility. These things aren't paranoid, they're patterns, and they give you an edge. These small habits create what I call your defensive bubble. It doesn't guarantee safety, but it removes easy access. It doesn't mean nothing will ever happen. It means you're reducing the number of ways it can happen, and that changes everything. Make brief eye contact when necessary. Stick to well-lit, high-visibility areas. Carry your defensive tools and know how to use them. Mentally rehearse how you'd respond under pressure. This isn't about living in fear. This is about walking in strength. Understand when violence can be avoided, and when it can't, use it swiftly to neutralize the danger. You don't need to be a black belt. You do need to be armed to the teeth. You need to stop moving through life on autopilot. Criminals watch for patterns. They watch for predictability. They look for victims. So change the pattern. Be unpredictable, be alert, be ready. You don't have to be a fighter to be a hard target. You just have to be unwilling to be an easy victim. No one explains that better than Gavin de Becker, the author of the game-changing book, The Gift of Fear, which I recommend everyone read and everyone buy a copy of that book for someone that they love. Let me be clear. Real fear is a gift. It's the whisper before the scream. It's your body picking up on something your brain hasn't fully processed yet. And it's always, always trying to protect you. Intuition is always right in at least two important ways. It is always in response to something, and it always has your best interest at heart. That's worth repeating. It's in response to something, even if you can't articulate it yet, and it's trying to keep you alive. So let's talk about what the Gift of Fear calls pre-incident indicators. These are behaviors that predators use before an attack to test your boundaries, lower your guard, or manipulate you. And once you know how to spot them, they're impossible to unsee. So here are some of the most common ones. Number one would be forced teaming. This is when someone you don't know tries to create a false sense of closeness. They say, looks like we're in the same boat, or let me help you with that. People like us have to stick together. You are not a team. You don't owe them your trust. Use charm as a verb. It's something someone does to get a result. Real kindness is given without an agenda. Predators use charm to disarm. So learn the difference between charm and niceness. If they say you're probably too uptight to talk to a guy like me, this is a setup. It's an insult masked as a dare, trying to get you to prove them wrong. We call that typecasting. Don't take the bait. When they offer you something you didn't ask for, we call that loan sharking. They offer to carry your bag, hold a door, help you for free. Now you feel obligated. That sense of social debt can be used against you. And unsolicited promises. I promise I'll leave you alone after this. If someone is offering a promise you didn't ask for, they're probably trying to make you feel safe because you're not. The moment a stranger tries to convince you he's safe is the moment you are no longer safe. So many people, especially women, are taught to ignore discomfort to be polite. We get weird vibes, but second guess ourselves. We don't want to seem rude or dramatic or mean. That's how predators win. Hard targets listen to their intuition. They respond early, not when it's already too late. You feel someone watching you. You change direction. You double back to a lit area. You lock your car and you drive away fast. You didn't overact in that situation. You listened. Your gut said, this isn't right. Your body responded, that's a win. Ignoring your gut out of politeness is one of the greatest risks that you can take. Here are 3 drills from my personal training that reinforce what the gift of fear teaches. Silent scan drill. Every time you enter a space, a store, a parking garage, a gas station, pause. Don't pull out your phone. Do a 10-second silent scan. Ask yourself, who's here? Who's moving towards me? Where are the exits? What's out of place? This keeps your intuitive radar sharp and gives you confidence in reading a room. The next would be what if mental rehearsals. Run what if drills regularly. What if someone follows you home? What if someone tries to force you into a conversation in a parking lot? What if a man lingers too close to you in an elevator? When you mentally rehearse safe exits and strong boundaries, you increase your ability to act decisively under pressure. And the third would be boundary voice practice. Pick a phrase, say it out loud. Practice saying it without apology. Examples: stop, I don't need your help. Back away now, I said no. This seems small, but voice practice trains your nervous system to act, not freeze. For parents especially, if your child says that they don't feel safe around someone, believe them. Kids are naturally intuitive, but we often override their instincts. Oh, he's just being nice. Don't be rude to Mr. So-and-so. Oh, give him a hug. Stop doing that. Children are taught to ignore their instincts to run, to fear, to be suspicious. We call that good manners. Instead, teach them that their instincts are valid, that they're allowed to say no, that being safe is more important than being polite. Let me leave you with this. Predators count on your silence, your hesitation, your desire to be nice. They bank on your doubt. But when you tune into your gut, strengthen your awareness, and start walking through the world like someone who cannot be easily fooled or manipulated, you become the exact kind of problem they're trying to avoid. Gavin de Becker said it best. You have the gift of a brilliant internal guardian that stands ready to warn you of hazards and guide you through risky situations. Use it, honor it, and don't apologize for it. And confidence is not optional. Confidence is not ego. Confidence is a decision backed by preparation. You don't have to be the strongest. You don't have to be trained in every martial art. But you do have to walk like someone who doesn't fold. Because the truth is, when you carry yourself like you're going to be a problem, you don't get picked. Think of yourself like this. I'm calm, I'm clear, and if I had to, I'm dangerous. And that's enough. Being a hard target doesn't mean you're aggressive. It means you're prepared, and that preparation makes you powerful. That kind of presence can stop an attack before it even starts. And that's our goal. Now let's get tactical. Tools are the icing, but they are not magic. The real power comes from preparation and training. But here's what I recommend for everyday carry. Pepper spray, practice deploying it quickly. Personal safety alarms, you want 120 plus decibels. Tactical flashlight for light and disorientation. A self-defense keychain or a Kubotan. And if you're trained, a stun gun, a firearm, or a Byrna pepper spray gun. So let's wrap this up. Confidence, awareness, action. These are not personality traits. They're learned skills. And the more you use them, the more natural they become. The best thing a criminal can say when they see you is not her, not today. So here's your mission this week. Practice hard target body language. Scan spaces like you're playing chess, not checkers. Don't explain your no, just say it. And start honoring your gut. Act when something feels off. Being a hard target doesn't mean you're aggressive. It means you're prepared, and that preparation makes you powerful. It means you're trained. It means you're self-aware. It means you're someone they regret ever looking at. Let me know one shift you are making today to become a harder target. Download the hard target checklist in the show notes Screenshot this episode and tag me at Range of Reality. Stay sharp, stay strong, stay unshakable.